Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Master Division with various wind here in Golf Clash the game. Before we have a closer look at all the content in this video, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. That helps the channel immensely. For those of you that do want to take the next step in your game and improve it even more, you can scan the QR code here on the screen or use the link that is in the description down below called patreon.com/golfclashtommy. We there have checkpoint challenge, tour play and tournament guides for everyone. So make sure to check it out and sign up and improve your game today. You can start as low as $3 per 30 days. Info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. On the drive here on hole number 1, we are going to start with the rock at max P2 rest, blue ring by the rough line, swapping to a poke and sniper bag, 6 topspin and 2 left spin. Here we are using a lower amount of topspin to allow us to have a consistent drive without glitch rolls. Adjust max plus 20 P0, which is 1-to-1 with a poke 8. Once we have done that, we're going to go with 0.8 ball of left curl with circle drop overpower. Perfect ball here will go to around 375 yards, which is exactly what we are looking for. And you can see that we are relying on the dead bounces, hitting those small mounds on the fairway, and then that is perfect. So 378, a little bit longer maybe, but 375 around that mark is perfect. On the second shot, we are going to do a bottom yellow ring fringe check where the fringe meets the green in line with pin. 3 left spin and 4.8 top spin. And we're looking now to have the top of the yellow ring to be by the rough line, ball guideline to fall just left of the cup. The reason we're doing a rough bump here instead of doing a normal bounce up is due to the fairway and the green being extremely glitchy, especially here in tailwind. In this angle, we are going to do no tweak whatsoever, and we're pulling from the clear ring. Adjustment from +3 and +4 is 0% sliders, so the min number, minus 5% elevation, P0 ball settings. A perfect ball, no overpower, no underpower. We clip the rough, roll up onto the green, dropping this one dead center for the eagle here on hole number 1. Get our guide for the new season on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. On hole number 2, we are going to set the landing position before spin. We're gonna use the yellow ring to box it in by the edge of the rough and bunker. Once we have found the spot, look to what I do with the top spin. I'm moving until the ball guideline shows to be up on the fringe, and then move back a click. So it's just by the fringe with where the ball guideline turns around towards the hole. That's my only focus point with the top spin together with the 3 left spin. And here we are going to do very little wind angle tweaks. We are just 1-to-1+1, center the ball to hit perfect. The idea with this shot is to hit the rough, roll up the green into the massive funnel and roll back towards the hole. Single grades on either side, still has a chance to go in, even though I wouldn't count on it, but it's still a chance. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. New season and everything, we do offer guides for tour play and tournament play for every player. On the drive here on hole number 3, we are going to set our APOC at max P5 rest, blue ring by the rough line for APOC 8, and this is a play for APOC 7 and APOC 8. Adjust max minus 5% elevation, P4 numbers. using all the top spin and 2 left spin. And once we have adjusted, we're going to go full curl to the left with just before circle drop overpower. We'll be having a different wind angle as well, which is more crosswind, where we will be going with circle drop overpower instead. Bouncing on the fairway nicely, then on the fairway into the rough to roll out on the last fairway. If you do hit a bad great left, expect yourself to be stuck in the rough. You still have a nice wind where you can get yourself close to the green and still save the eagle. On the second shot, what we're going to do is to stretch out to max, looking to have the ball guideline left of the most right sign. And there we're also looking at how much of the yellow ring is outside the rough. In this case, the whole yellow ring was outside the rough, and in that instance means that we're not going to push up anything. If, let's say, half of the yellow ring would be covered by the rough, then we would push up half a ring after the adjustment. That is just a technique to ensure that we're not going to clip the rough when with our second bounce. 0.8 top spin, 2 left spin. I'm using all the curl to the left and max overpower with a slower needle, and you can see here that we needed just a little bit more top spin to get that ball in the hole. This is a shot that I'm counting with to be for a safe eagle with an outside chance of an albatross. If you feel uncomfortable with this type of push play for albatross, then reduce the curl slightly. You leave yourself more room, but then you will have to be prepared for a shorter wedge instead. So this is a tough par 5. An eagle is definitely something we should be considered okay and move on to hole 4. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. On hole number 4, we're starting with a beginner driver, and this is a replayed glitch, so make sure to follow what showed in Telegram and also on in the guides. We're starting at max P5 rest with our beginner driver, inner ring to be by the rough line. Once we have found that spot, we're swapping to quarterback. And once we're swapped to quarterback, you can switch to whatever ball you want to use. And here we're using a side spin 5, wind 5 ball. And it doesn't matter what power you're using here. We are adjusting 1-to-1 minus 0.2. This is the do nothing angle, which is just center the ball. We're pulling from the clear ring as well. I'm using half a bar of top spin and 5 right spin. The ball bounces into the rough, over the bunker, rolls down towards the pin and dropping nicely dead center for the hole-in-one. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy for Pro Expert and Master Division for the Michigan Links tournament. Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guides for Expert and Master Division in the South Sands 9-hole Cup, a full 9 of the Waterfield Sands. A very tough course where having an edge with our guides will get you a good chance to compete for the good prize chest in the weekend round. Obviously, we do have premium guides for the different game modes in Golf Clash, such as Checkpoint Challenge and Tour Play as well. So make sure to join in the largest community when it comes to premium and free guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You have the link in the description down below, or you can scan the QR code here directly on the screen. Another replay glitch. We are starting at max P4 rest with bullseye by the rough line. Picture will be correct in the guide, obviously. Add all the top spins, 0.2 left spin. And then we are going to go with an adjustment that is max plus a 20 P0, so it's 1-to-1 with a pocket 8, and we're swapping to a P2 plus ball. Have in mind, to play with a P2 ball, you're gonna have to pull to at least plus 11 or below, otherwise you will, in that case, yeah, that's not gonna be good. So then you're gonna have to play with a P3 ball. We're gonna not play circle drop here, we're going to use circle break as our reference, and this is a shot that we do recommend to only play for a POC 7 and a POC 8, or you're gonna have to find a practice token or two to try to do an POC 6, but it's gonna have to be a bit more overpowered with a POC 6, and that's going to be risky. A single great left and right has still been on the pad, but obviously making a mistake here and you fall off the cliff, then that could be the cause of losing out on the eagle. But getting up to the cliff there is going to make us a good chance for the albatross on approach. On the second shot, I would like you to ignore that I'm using 2 point, or not ignore, but the 2.2 right spin that I'm using is only due to me having a great right drive. So that's obviously listed on the guide, but in general we're going to use only 2 right spin and 4 top spin. So here you can see me fiddling around a little bit with the spins, but there is the right spin that we need with a great right drive. Blue ring by the rough line, ball guideline to go left of the cup like that. You see that zooming. Then we're going to make an adjustment that's going to be 78% slider with 10% elevation, P3 numbers, pulling from the white ring. And this is obviously an awkward pull as we're pulling downhill, very easy to pull off center, so try to pull as slow as possible and as straight as possible. This is the do nothing angle. We're just going to center the ball, hit perfect, hits the rough, rolls down the green, and we're dropping this one nicely for an albatross here on hole number 5. Get our guide on patreon.com/golf-tommy. On hole number 6, here we start with the rock and a P0 ball at max rest. You can see that we do have the ball guideline just left of the bunker, swapping to a POC and sniper bag. Here using 7.2 top spin and 2 right spin. Adjust is gonna be max plus 20 P0, and here we're gonna have one angle that gives us a lot of tailwind. This is more headwind angle. And the tailwind angle needs actually a little bit of a push-up, this to compensate for the bounces that we're going to have on the fairway. You can see that the bounces we want to have is these ones, bounce, bounce, and just slows down with dead bounces. There is a risk for a glitch roll here that could roll if you're unlucky into the rough, but then it's still an easy save from there. On the second shot, we're gonna do a fringe shake where the fringe meets the green, and you can see here now that we do a +6. We're gonna look at the top of the red ring to be by the rough line, with the right side of the blue ring by that line that you can see in the middle of the rough. And the reason that spot is important is because we do not have any plus yardage to follow, so we need to be spot on, otherwise it's easy to be a little bit short or a little bit too long. Then we're gonna use whatever spins that gets the ball guideline 2 green squares through the hole. If the ball guideline is not exactly as you would like, then just move slightly left or right to compensate. This is the do nothing angle, and we're going to make an adjustment that is 1-to-1 plus 0.9, and that is from +6 and +7. Center the ball and hit perfect, as here we're not using any tweak whatsoever. And we bounce into the rough and takes a turn on the green, and you can see here, even though it looks like we're gonna miss left, but it comes back dropping dead center for the eagle. Get our guide on patreon.com/golf-tommy. On hole number 7, we are starting with a P0 ball, using the blue ring to be by the sand to the left with our quarterback. Again, max P0 line. We're adding the spins, which is 0.8 top spin and 3 left spin. I'm also then swapping to the rock. This will allow me to play with any P1 plus ball. It's not tested with P0, hence the reason why I don't want to suggest that. When it comes to The adjustment is 1 to 1 plus 1, and we are then centering the ball to hit perfect here in this angle. There will be some, the most important tweaks here is going to be the wind strength, and that is something that we are only going to look at when it comes to this type of shot, because the more we're playing into a nice sticky spot or a nice funnel, so the lower winds need underpower and the higher winds needs overpower, and that's the way we're going to tweak here on hole number 7. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. On the drive here on hole number 8, we're moving 3 rings to the right from NMT when it comes to Thor's Hammer level 8. Then we do have also 3 rings right for Thor's Hammer level 7. This is gonna be different when it comes to Apocalypse, where Apocalypse is going to be a bit of a gamble. Adjust max no elevation P5 numbers, then we're pushing up to a specific plus yardage that will be mentioned in table and stuff like that, obviously. And then we are going to push this one up to plus 22, or like the top of plus 22, all the top spin, all the boost, and half a bar of right spin. And in this angle here, we're gonna use all the curl we can with Thor's Hammer level 8. The reason we're moving the same amount of rings to the right from NMT with Thor's Hammer level 7 is due to the fact that we do have less curl. So we're compensated by moving just more right. If everything goes as planned, have in mind that this is ascended and there could obviously be different bounces and stuff, but in a best case scenario, we're gonna be for a very short wedge or a putt. There is obviously risk to clip the rough with your second bounce, then it's gonna leave you with a long end bringer, which we do have notes for as well. We recommend to play with a Thor's Hammer level 7 or better before you're playing with Apocalypse in any level. This due to the extra amount of top spin. Last but not least, if you do not push up above plus 24, you can play with a Spirit Ball, which is a Sheriff Ball, which is a power 4 ball. If you do not push up about plus 16, which in the higher winds you're not gonna do that, then you can play with a Spirit Ball as well. A lot of information, obviously. If you do have the guide, make sure to check that one out. There is a backup option as well, but we do recommend to send it, as getting into green is most definitely easier to make the eagle than having to lay up. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. On the drive here on hole number 9, option 1, we are going to start with an NMT and a P3 ball. I know it's a replay glitch, but you can swap to any P1 plus ball after the adjustment. Obviously, the P1 ball does not have the same amount of range as per the P2 or P3 ball, so that's obviously a little bit of a gamble, but if doing the drive as we want, then you should always be in range for P1 ball. 1 ball of left curl just before circle drop overpower, 3 left, 5 topspin. And we're bouncing on the fairway over to the other fairway, want to be to around 395 yards. On the second shot, we are going to do a top blue ring fringe check where the fringe meets the fairway, and the ball guide line is now going to be through the hole with the spins applied, which is 1 backspin and 3 right spin, and bullseye by the edge of the rough line. So it's very simple landing position to find, and I do value that a lot. So in this angle, we do have a high wind here. We're not going to do any sort of tweaks in terms of curl and stuff like that. We're going to make an adjustment that is 1 to 1 from plus 3 and plus 4. And the last piece of the puzzle is that we're going to do circle break underpower, and then obviously tweaks onto that if we see it necessary. But it's going to be very minor amount of tweaks to that. Perfect ball it is. We bounce into the rough, roll down onto the green, dropping dead center for the albatross here on hole number 9. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this playthrough for Master Division with Various Wind. Make sure to scan the QR code here on the screen and go directly to patreon.com/golf-tommy. That is via the link in the description down below. This for our premium guides. We offer premium guides for all the game modes in Golf Clash. Thank you once again for watching. I wish you the best of luck in your Golf Clash game.